What is your name, please?
My name is Darla Banks. My name is Darla Banks. My name is Darla Banks.
Only one of these young ladies is the real Darla Banks. The other two are imposters and will try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Peggy Cass, sportscaster, sports writer, and the backfield coach of the New York Giants football team, Kyle Rote, and Kitty Carlisle. On to Tell the Truth with your host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth. Brought to you this week by Dristan decongestant tablets for relief of colds, misery, sinus congestion, to help drain all 8 sinus cavities. Dristan. Kyle, may I welcome you to Tell the Truth. It's your first visit to us.
Well, it is, Bud, and I've been playing at home, as so many people have, and it's a real distinct pleasure to be able to do it in person and alive tonight.
It's a joy to have you here with us, believe me. Panel, all ready? Yes. Open up your envelopes for the first time, take out your first affidavit card, and follow along as I read. I, Darla Banks, am Miss Teenage America for 1963. I won the title, which was judged on poise, talent, personality, and scholarship. Among the many prizes I received were a cruise, a 1963 convertible, and a 4-year college scholarship. I am currently touring the country on behalf of a major auto manufacturer. I lecture on safe driving. Incidentally, the master of ceremonies of the Miss Teenage America finals was Mr. Bud Collier. Signed, Darla Banks. So, panel, these 3 young ladies all claim to be Darla Banks, Miss Teenage America 1963. May we start this questioning with Tom Poston. Tom?
Honestly, they really are darling. Even the one who won could, the other 2 are beautiful, too. And you are, too, Bud.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Number 3, where was the contest, may I ask?
The Nationals were held in Dallas, Texas.
Do you agree with that, number 2?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to know that fake stuff where you're telling me. Number 2, what was your talent?
I sang and played the guitar.
You did? Number 3, what'd you do?
I sang.
And number 1?
I danced.
You danced?
Yes.
Oh, good for you. How do you judge poise, number 1?
I'm afraid you'll have to ask the judges.
Okay. Number 2, how do they tell about poise and things?
Well, we had to stand in a room and get up and walk around a chair and sit down again. I guess that's...
That's all?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Peggy.
But see, they're so pretty. Number 3, where in Dallas was the contest held? In a hotel?
Ma'am, which part of the contest?
The finals, the finals that you said were held in Dallas.
The finals were held at the music hall, the pageant, in the state fairgrounds.
Thank you. Number 2, who's Darla Hood?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Number 1, do you know?
No, I don't.
Number 3, do you?
She was on the, I know, a little comedy, young kids. I can't think of it.
Thank you. Number 1, where's the cruise going to?
The Caribbean cruise, the Bahamas.
Thank you. Number 2, how old were you when you got your automobile license?
I don't have one yet.
And you lecture on safe driving?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, nice.
Kyle Rote.
Well, at least they picked a good state to hold the finals in, Bud.
Where are you from, Kyle?
Number 3, where was your cruise designed to take you?
To the Caribbean.
Number 1, where in the Caribbean?
I don't know exactly. I haven't been on it yet.
Number 2, what is the stadium in Dallas, Texas at the fairgrounds?
I don't know the name of it, sir.
Number 3, do you know the name of the stadium?
I'm sorry, I don't.
Number 1, do you?
No, I don't.
Lousy football fans. Do you know...
What is the name of it?
Number 2, do you know the signal for stopping a car?
Red light.
I picked number 2.
All right, Kitty.
Number 3, do you have a driver's license?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
What age did you get it at?
16.
And where do you come from?
Fresno, California.
Number 1, what do you consider the main principle of safe driving?
I would never speed.
Never speed.
Never speed. Be careful of people, pedestrians. You never know what they're going to do.
Number 2, how were you picked originally to be part of this contest that you won?
I sent in an entry blank.
Is that all?
And, yes. And then the main pageant, the first pageant was held in New York here. That I went to. New York.
That's all the time we have. You can look. But you may not ask any more questions, and you must now mark your ballots at once and without change, if you please. And, of course, no consultation amongst you as you select number 1, number 2, or number 3. Our team of challengers will, of course, receive the usual $250 for every incorrect vote. All ballots marked? All right, Tom, for whom did you vote?
Well, I hope that number 1 and 2 won't think that I was acting in any way as a judge and was selecting number 3 for my choice as Miss Teenage America. But I do think that her answers were certainly straightforward, and I based my choice on that rather than on their attractiveness and beauty, because they're all so lovely, honestly. They're beautiful girls.
Peggy.
Well, I voted for number 3 because Darla's such an unusual name, and I think if anybody who would be named that would know about Darla Hood, number 3 did.
Kyle.
Well, I voted for number 3 also, Bud. She didn't know that the Cotton Bowl was in Dallas, Texas, but she looked more sympathetic about
it. And Kitty, what is your vote?
It's unanimous.
Uh-huh.
I voted for number 3. They were all perfectly lovely, but I didn't think that they would allow a girl who didn't drive to lecture on safe driving. And as long as number 3 said she had her license, I didn't get to ask number 1, but I voted for number 3.
All right, there we have it. Now, sometimes when our panel goes unanimous, it's good. Other times, it's a big, fast drop into the cellar. Let's see which it is this time as we come up to the truth and learn which of these young ladies is Miss Teenage America 1963. So, will the real Darla Banks please stand up?
Oh, wait.
And just to set the record straight, Darla Banks is the youth safety spokesman for the Lincoln Mercury division of the Ford Motor Company. That's the
Very good.
stellar title she has. Last time I saw the young lady down there, she won, and I walked over to her and told her and so forth. She was in tears like that. I never saw so many young teenagers in tears, all so happy that she'd won. It really was a wonderful, wonderful evening. I had a hard time talking myself through that one. All right, number 1, what is your real name and what do you really do?
I'm Sally Curry, and I'm a senior at Greenwich Academy, Greenwich, Connecticut.
And number 2, what is your real name and what do you do?
My name's Marianne Rice, and I'm a sophomore at Lackadair Academy, Upper Montclair.
Well, in taking the score, I'm afraid there were no incorrect votes. But in a case like that from Tristan, $150 comes. I never saw 3 young ladies that couldn't find something to do with $50 each in any event. And I hope that the good time you've had may have made up for any financial difference. We certainly enjoyed having you all here. Thank you for gracing our show. On your way out, you'll receive the gift package of the Tristan products. Good night, and God bless you. May I present our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Henning Suel.
My name is Henning Suel.
My name is Henning Suel.
Very well, panel, you've had a look. Now give a listen. Follow along with your copies of this affidavit, if you will. I, Henning Suer, am managing director of the most unusual recreation park in the world, the famous Tivoli Gardens, located right in the heart of Copenhagen, Denmark. Tivoli is 120 years old, and it features not only amusement rides, but also fabulous flower gardens, theaters, a children's playground, and concerts by 10 different orchestras. Its 23 different restaurants, cafes, and beer gardens serve food and drink from 9 a.m. until midnight to Tivoli's more than 4 million visitors each year. Signed, Henning Suer. ladies and gentlemen, we bring you here three gentlemen all claiming to be Henning Suer, managing director of Tivoli Gardens in Denmark. We'll start this cross-examination with Peggy Cass. Peggy?
Thank you. Number 2, there's a restaurant in Copenhagen that has a big, long sandwich list. What is the name of that restaurant?
Oscar Davidson.
Thank
Oscar
you.
Davidson.
Number 3, there's a beer in Copenhagen that I've heard of, and they have lots of white horses that carry the carts around. What is that beer?
Carlsberg.
Thank you. Number 1, in Denmark, there's a city where they celebrate the American 4th of July every year. What city is that?
That's Vejbil.
Thank you. Number 2, do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
Number 3?
I do.
Thank you. See, it's the accent. Number 1, where is Hans Christian Andersen from?
From Odense.
Thank you. Number 2, what Swedish city is right across that strip of water from Copenhagen?
Malmo.
Thank you.
Kyle.
Number 1, would you spell your last name quickly for me?
Sørger.
Would you care to go round again?
That isn't the way they spell it down home. Number 2, how much does it cost to enter the gardens?
It costs 125 krona, which is about 15 cents, except on Saturdays and Sundays when we charge them double price because it's so much fun.
Number 3, do you have an American restaurant among the restaurants you have there?
No, not an American restaurant.
Number 1, would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yes, you do?
Yes, he do agree. Kitty.
Number 2, where is the Kattegat?
It's the water outside
Thank you.
between Sweden and Denmark.
Number 3, where is the Goethe Canal?
The Goethe Canal? It's in Gothenburg.
Number 1, do you agree with that?
Yes, it starts there.
Number 1, can you tell me how long it would take to visit the gardens if one wanted to see everything?
Oh, that depends how thorough you are.
Number 2, how long do you think it would take?
I don't know, it's a 20-acre spot.
2 or 3 days?
At least, yes.
Number 3, is there a beach connected with the Tivoli Gardens?
No, there is not.
No beach. It's in
No,
the... It's in,
there is a lake, but there is no beach.
Tom.
Fantastic. Number 2, do you serve hot dogs in that park?
Yes, we do.
What do you call them, number 3? Do you agree, number 3, that they
Call
serve?
it pulse.
What?
Pulse.
Thank you. Number 1, there are 3 rather large amusement parks in New York and New York City area. What are they? Could you tell us, please?
Freedom Land and Palisade Park and Coney Island.
Thank you. Number 2, what's that prominent ride on Coney Island? Do you have that? Do you have that at the Tivoli Gardens too?
We have if you're
Yes?
talking about the roller coaster, we have one. It's not as big as this one. We have one which is enough.
That's all the time we have. Time is gone, but there is time still for you to mark your ballots, and that we request that you do right now, without change, and of course no consultation permitted as you vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Everybody voted? All right, Tom, which one did you select this time?
Well, I voted for number 1. I figured that the man who was that interested in the Tivoli Gardens, be a general manager, would know about other amusement parks. I was going to vote for number 2, but then it turned out they all knew about Denmark and Copenhagen, so you couldn't go by that.
Peggy.
Well, I voted for number 3 because he knew about the white horses on the beer.
Kyle Rote, your vote, please.
Well, I voted for number 2, I guess mainly because he knows that it is more fun on weekends and the price goes up.
So there you have 1, 2, and 3. Kitty, with which
Well,
one
I
did you
wanted
start?
to vote for number 1, but I voted for number 2. I think number 2 looks too young to have such a responsible job, but he sounded as though he had a great sort of feeling of admiration and love of the Tivoli Gardens, so I thought that was his responsibility.
All right, so that makes it 1 for 1, 1 for 3, 2 for 2. Let's go for the truth and find out where the right lies, really, this time, as we learn which of these gentlemen is the one who is the managing director of the Tivoli Gardens in Denmark. So will the real Henning Suer please stand up? Thank you, sir, very much. Tom, you came the solo through there very nicely.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Number 2, what is your real name, sir, and what do you really do?
My name is Arne Thorén, and I'm New York correspondent for the Stockholm Expressen and for the Swedish Broadcasting Corporation.
Thank you. And number 3, may we have your real name and what you do?
My name is Edvard Jørgensen. I'm port captain in New York for the Hög steamship lines of Oslo, Norway.
Well, gentlemen, you did a real good job of fooling all the way down the line. I tell you, it was a tough one to vote. I'm sure the panel will agree with me on that.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so, huh? Well, you got it right. That's why. But there were 3 incorrect votes. That you'll be happy to hear. And at $250 each, that's not too bad. That's a total of $750 from Dristan, and we hope it brings you great joy as you brought to us. Thank you. And on your way out, you'll receive a gift package of all the fine products from the makers of Dristan. Good night. God bless you. And now let's meet our 3rd team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Kay Day. My name is Kay Day.
My name is Kay Day.
Would you follow along with your copies of this 3rd affidavit, please, panel? I, K. Day, saw my first horse race at the age of 8 and decided then and there that there would always be a racehorse in my life. I started my apprenticeship as an exercise girl and hot walker and eventually worked my way up to be a licensed trainer. I am currently training 6 racehorses. Since I hire no outside help, I feed and groom the horses and do the ponying myself. My schedule consumes 13 hours every day, 7 days every week, commencing at 5 o'clock every morning. Signed, K. Day. Very well, panel. You've heard these 3 ladies all claiming to be one and the same, namely Kay Day, lady racehorse trainer. And we'll start this time with the sports director of radio station WNEW in New York, Kyle Rote.
Thank you. I already have a feeling of sympathy for them, Bud, because they have to get up at the same time I do. Number 3, what is going to happen in June that is an important date among horse trainers?
Jimmy Fitzsimmons is retiring. There's also a race.
Number 1, what does the term butazolidin mean to you?
I don't know.
Number 2, do you know what that word means?
Yes, it is a drug.
Number 3, what is that drug used for?
For thrush.
You got me. Number 1, who would you say the 2 favorites in the Kentucky Derby are going to be?
Candy Spots and Never Been.
How long, number...
Kitty.
Number 1, what is thrush?
Foot disease.
Number 2, have you ever had any of your horses win?
Yes.
Number 3, do you bet on your own horses?
No.
Never?
Never.
Number 1, what is the difference between hocks and withers?
The hocks is the bone at the back of the leg, and the withers is the space between the foreleg and the back.
Thank you. Number 2, what do you mean by being a hot walker?
This is where you cool a horse out after a race or exercise him in the morning.
Number 3, what kind of a license do you have to be a licensed trainer?
A trainer's license given
Who gives this?
The stewards of the track.
Not the state?
Of the state, I'm sorry, yes.
Number 1, what does a license like this cost?
$10.
Number 2, do you agree with that?
Yes.
Tom.
Number 2, what is that drug used for that you identified before?
Is a painkiller.
Well, let me ask you something. What's the purpose of firing a bone in a horse's leg?
Well, actually, you can kill the nerves in the horse if they are hurting in this section, will not feel any pain during a race.
Thank you. Number 3, what might cause a horse to hurt in that section?
Running on a hard track, bowing a tendon.
Bowing a tendon, oh dear. Number one, where's the frog on a horse besides in his throat? Ha ha, a horse throat. Where's the frog on a horse?
It's the bottom part of the foot.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Whoever heard of a horse? That's ridiculous.
When he has a colt.
Oh, that did it. That really did it. Okay, Peggy.
Number 1, where is the Preakness run?
Maryland?
Thank you. What's the name of the track, number 2, of the Preakness?
I don't know.
Do you know number 3?
Pimlico.
Thank you. Number 1, what's the winter book?
I don't know.
Thank you. Number 3, who is the champion rider that has had the most winners, well, jockey?
Eddie Arcaro, but he's retired.
Number 1, do
Shoemaker
you agree
now,
with that?
Yes, he's won 5.
Number 2, do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Number 3, a horse had an accident last week at Laurel. What was the name of the horse?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Thank you. Number 1, what's the name of the
That's all the time we have, I'm sorry to say, so start...
You know about these racehorses.
You bet I do.
Start walking those horses and mark your ballots, if you will, please. Right now, without change and, of course, no consultation. Just mark them for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Are we all marked? All right. Tom, for whom?
I voted for number 2. I tell you, I has to be on air guess because I don't know why she didn't know where the Preakness was run. Maybe it was just a slip or something. But I voted for number 2. I like the other answers. Good.
Peggy.
Well, I voted for number 3 because she did know where the Preakness was run, and it's a big race.
Mm-hmm. Kyle.
Well, I voted for number 3 because number 2 didn't know the name of where Pimlico was. Number 1 didn't know Butte-Zollidan, so I voted for number 3.
And Kitty, what was your choice?
I voted for number 2 because of your question about the Butte-Zollidan, which I don't know what it is. Because I thought it was a painkiller and not something for thrush. So I voted for, and also, you know, if you got to get up that kind of time in the morning, and you've got to do that kind of work, number 2 is the thinnest, and I thought she was the one.
All right, there we have it. Good sound reasoning goes into this voting, as you can see. And we'll find out now whether we've moved into the circle of truth or falsehood as we find out which of these ladies is the real lady racehorse trainer. So will the real Kay Day please stand up? Very good. Let's see, it was Tom and Kitty who came through with that one. Well, number 1, would you care to tell us your real name and what you really do, please?
My name is Betty Sue Lukens, and I do research at the Tax Foundation.
I'm sorry to say that's a word nobody likes anymore. Number 3, you got half the votes. What is your real name and what do you do?
My name is Kay Gosling, and I'm a registered nurse.
Oh, my. We check the score and we find that for shopping sprees ahead, you're all right, ladies, believe me, because from Dristan come the benefits of 2 incorrect votes on the part of our panel, and that at $250 each, total $500. Not bad for an evening's fun, and I trust you had that. We certainly did. And, of course, when you weigh out, you'll receive a gift package of all the fine products and the makers of Dristan, and our sincere thanks to you for being with us. Goodbye. God bless you. Well, it's been fun, believe me. I think, again, we've all learned a little bit more about a lot of things. I don't know if it'll affect our going to the races anymore. Peggy, you go quite a bit, don't you?
Yes, I try to go every Saturday.
Enjoy
just to show my interest in the sport.
Of course. What else? How about you, Kitty?
I love it, too, but also just for the sport.
Naturally.
I like to win, too.
I like to
You want to
win
tell a
indeed.
whopper, too?
Excuse me?
Did you want to tell a whopper, too, like they just said?
No, we're all liable to run into number 1.
Tom, you like them?
Yes, I do. I like to ride them.
Well, fair enough, and thanks for the good fun tonight, as you always do give. May I say to all of you, please, that your dollars help research find effective treatment for mental illness. Give to the National Association for Mental Health through your local chapter, please, and give generously. That's all we have time for tonight. Good night, panel. Good night to all of you. See you again next week, of course, at this time, and I'll be with you tomorrow on the afternoon version of our show. And may I remind you once again, saying good night for Dristan, to tell the truth. Bye.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Woodson, Bill Todman production. Tell the Truth has been brought to you by Bicidol Instant Powder, the special formula to relieve excess acid indigestion and take that pressure off your stomach in seconds. Johnny Olson speaking. For To Tell the Truth, this program was pre-recorded.